Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel, Marriage Capsule. And my name is Deyzel. With me today is Madz Deysel. Madz has been talking to me for the previous two videos. So there's a series of 4 that you can follow. If you haven't watched the first 2, I want to encourage you to follow the link down below and go watch video 1, go watch video 2, because we are unpacking wholeness. For you as a person to become more whole, so that you show up whole in your relationships and in your marriage. And it's been breathtaking for me, and I've learned so much about this. So Madz, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
Thanks so much for talking and sharing. And if you want to know more, if you want to get in touch with Madz, I'm leaving an email address down below to get in touch with her. You can also get a hold of the Wholeness course. This is the one that we've done. It's made a massive impact on my life, and I'm sure it's going to make a massive impact on yours. So today, we are asking a very interesting question.
Yes.
We're going to discover if your childhood had anything to do with your choice of spouse.
Yes.
Why actually married? So my first question is,
Yes.
what role do I play in my own story?
That's an awesome question. So we all have a story,
Yes.
a current one, and we all come from a story. Our experience of our primary caregivers growing up is part of our bigger picture story. Now, it's important to understand that all of us actually plays a very important role in our stories, albeit unconsciously. So I want to quickly just give you a little overview of a tool that we use in psychology called the ABCD theory. It's in the Wholeness course.
It's good.
I cover it in there.
Make notes.
A stands for my activating event. So anything I go through in life is my trigger.
So it's an activating event. That's what the A stands for, yes.
B is the belief, the story I tell myself about what's just happened in my world.
Right.
Okay. C is the consequent emotion that I'm feeling. D is is the dictated behavior, how I choose to respond.
Okay.
Activating event, belief, consequent emotion, dictated behavior. So if I am triggered, if I come home and I've asked my husband to do something, fetch me milk on the way home, and he doesn't, let's say that's the activating event.
Right.
If the story I'm telling myself is that my needs are not important, maybe growing up, my experience of my primary caregivers was that my needs were never important. So my belief about myself is that my needs are not important. And I've requested that my hubby brings home milk and he doesn't. The story I tell myself is, you see, my needs are not important to him. It triggers the emotion of sadness, rejection, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not valued enough, that I'm not loved. And it will impact how I choose to behave. So I'm either going to get angry, or I'm going to start shouting, or I'm going to shut down and pull away. And so very often what we do is that we have a life experience, and then based on that life experience we come to a conclusion about our value because of that experience. So we're always thinking that life is what shapes us. I grew up in an abusive family, that's what shapes me. I grew up neglected or abandoned, that's what shapes me. You can have 2 people who grew up in the same home, but both have very different stories. It's the story I tell myself about my experience that determines my value. If somebody rejects me, it doesn't mean I'm unlovable. If I fail, it doesn't mean I'm not good enough. So the first thing we need to understand is that we play a very pivotal role in our own life stories, purely based on the story I'm telling myself about my value.
Can I tell myself a different story? So husband comes home and he did not bring the milk. So the event is still the same. What is a different example of the story I tell myself?
A different story. If my identity was secure in God, there may be an element of he purely forgot. Or maybe he was stressed at work and he's got a million things in his mind and it completely, how many times have we all forgotten to bring the milk? So if the story I'm telling myself is one of grace, then I'm going to give grace to my partner's behavior and filter their behavior through the lens of grace, not through the lens of my insecurity. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes 100% sense. Okay, so we talked about the past, your childhood experience. So my experience of my primary caregiver, how I experienced growing up, this primary person in my life, would that influence the choice in terms of who I choose to marry?
So there is a lot of research that shows that on a deep unconscious level, what we do as adults is we try and recreate life experiences that mimic childhood, so that the parts of us that are still wounded because of childhood can heal.
Okay.
And very often we do that with our spouses. So if I grow up in my childhood and there was an element of feeling like I'm not good enough, or I don't really know my potential, so I'm feeling insecure in my ability as a person, very often people like that will unconsciously find a partner who's confident in their potential.
Okay.
Because I'm attracted to the qualities they have, because they're qualities I don't have. So the very thing we're attracted to is often what we lack. And so in the beginning of our marriage, those things we're almost attracted to, but as we progress in marriage, those are the things that we almost become threatened by.
Really?
Because what we're wanting to do is we're actually wanting to glean from our partner the gifts and the strengths of the qualities of character they have that we need for our wholeness to come to fullness.
Yes.
And so on an unconscious level, we very often choose people that will create a scenario in my marriage that is similar to the experience of my childhood, so that I can heal.
Okay.
It's a deeply unconscious space. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean every marriage is like that, because I may grow up in a loving home environment where I had good, emotionally whole parents who loved on me, who gave me a good child. That doesn't mean now I have huge holes inside of me or lacks. So it doesn't always play out like that, but there is a strong unconscious pull often to find somebody that's going to have the answers to my healing journey.
And if I hear this and I feel like I married someone to do that for me because I was lacking that in my childhood,
Yes.
is it now too late for me? Is it like I married the wrong person?
Not at all, not at all. I think marriage is the most beautiful vehicle that God can use, because if you think about it, it's your partner that is the one person that gets close enough to hold up a mirror for you to
Yes.
really see the truth about who you are. Okay. And when we invite our spouse into that space, they can play a role in our lives that can help us on our healing journey. And we are going to speak about that more next week, so I don't want to give it away too much. But I think the first thing is to be able to go, what is the need in me? Where are those broken spaces in me? Where are those places in my identity that need healing, that need a God touch? And our partner very often is the one that is going to be the mirror that we see that closest in.
That's true.
We become very aware of those kind of insecurities, or those behavior characteristics that need some work. Our partner holds up those mirrors, and generally we end up power struggling over it. We want to get angry with them, or we don't like it when they kind of hold up that mirror in front of our face. It causes all sorts of negative reactions inside of us very often. And sometimes when the injuries of my past have caused deep wounds, and the story I'm telling myself is that there's something fundamentally wrong with me, very often what I see couples do is that they will interpret the behavior of their spouse through that lens of brokenness.
Yes.
You see, his behavior is proving that I'm unlovable. Her behavior is proving that I'm a failure. The mind has the ability to gather any evidence to back up the belief it already has.
So this is going back to the story I'm telling
Yes.
myself and the effect that it does.
Yes.
Isn't this amazing? The story you're telling yourself has got an effect on your marriage.
Completely. And so many couples spiral down because the story I'm telling myself is you don't love me. Or the story I'm telling myself is that I always fail you. And then I react. And hurt people hurt people.
Yes, that's true.
And that's a cycle that many couples get caught up in, and they don't know how to break out of it.
Okay, so next video we're going to unpack that.
Yes.
Because I know that you're watching this and you're like, okay, how do I do that? So we're going to talk about these needs. How do I communicate this better?
Yes.
And unpack what we need in our daily lives. And I think the one thing that really is standing out for me is that I can move from being a victim
Yes.
to being victorious
Completely.
in wholeness and in your
100%.
marriage. Isn't that, oh wow.
It's powerful.
That is powerful. Yes. So we'll see you again in the next video. All the links are below, the email address for Madz,
Yes.
and the links to the previous videos. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's just get your marriage going and go from good to absolutely great.
Awesome.